Bigfoot has a big heart because he has big feet, so he has a big heart. Unless Bigfoot...
You know what they say about big feet? They have a big heart.
Oh my goodness.
God.
This kills me every time. Oh, we're recording. Welcome back to the second episode of Till It Gets Awkward.
And it's about to get real awkward. That's for sure.
Yeah. We never know how to start this thing.
It's always right before we hit record. So how are we going to start it? And I'm like...
See, this is the only podcast where you can feel secondhand embarrassment from the comfort of your own home.
Exactly. So, Halloween is right around the corner.
Yes.
It's Thursday, which is very exciting. I am going to Salem this weekend, which is also very exciting. Got my Salem nails done today. Love them.
Oh my gosh.
But in honor of Halloween coming around the corner, we decided to do a little spooky episode.
Yes.
You want to tell them what it's about?
Excited. Oh yeah, I will tell them what it's about. So Caitlin's gonna read us a story about the most haunted house in New Jersey. And then we're going to go back and forth on some cryptids. New Jersey only has one, which is the Jersey Devil.
Which I'm really surprised about, because I feel like there's definitely more.
I feel like we should have more, but we are a small state, so that might be why.
That's true. Apparently, New Jersey is one of the top most haunted states in the United States, which I said that I could totally understand since... when we first kind of colonized and everything, the first few states was New Jersey and New York. So I can totally see it being one of the most haunted states. But let's get into the Emlyn Physic Estate in Cape May.
Yes.
Let's see.
Okay.
So if you guys...
for this.
If you guys don't know, Cape May is literally the first exit in New Jersey. It's exit 1. The parkway stops. Can't go any further. You just hit the water. It's all the way at the bottom of New Jersey. And apparently this is where the home of the Physic family was. Emlyn Physic was a doctor. He was one of the most renowned surgeons in America. He created the first insurance in America as well. And it was only $20 a year. That sounds pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie.
What?
That's a copay now. $20 is a copay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane. But basically, this story that I found is just going to tell you a little bit about the background and the ghosts that live to tell the tale. So, it says, while we, the living, may only think about ghosts and hauntings in October, the fact is that ghosts are just with us all year long, which is totally true, especially come Halloween time. Day of the Dead, a lot of the people that celebrate that, they tend to go to the cemeteries to celebrate and party with the non-living. Ghosts also tend to haunt where they used to live, where they've died, or where they spend a lot of their time. So, let's see. The Cape May's original haunted house. This mansion was built in 1879 by Dr. Emlyn Physic. He had just turned 21 and moved into the house with his mother and his two sisters, Emily and Isabel. So it was the headquarters for the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts and Humanities, since the group saved the old mansion and its ghosts from the wrecking ball in the early 1970s. This house really has only been home to one family, and it was the Physics. No one else has been able to live there, no one except the ghosts, that is. So let's see.
That's kind of like an on-brand last name for someone who's like a doctor.
Physic? I know.
Yeah.
I know. So, he died 1916 at the age of 58, and Aunt Emily was the last to go, surviving until 1935. So she stayed around another 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So after the family passed, the house was willed to the neighbor, Frances Brooks, who had been taking care of Aunt Emily in her later years. Dr. Marion died in 1949, and Dr. Sidney then married his assistant or secretary, Pauline, in 1955, and they lived in the house for a couple of years when, according to the people who have known Dr. Sidney, the couple moved into an apartment downtown because the new Mrs. Newcomer was afraid to live in the house because it was haunted. So now this is where we're getting to get to the nitty details of the hauntings. When they spoke with a woman whose parents were going to buy the house from Dr. Newcomer, she recalled the good doctor explaining to them that that a man of science. Hold on. The good doctor explaining to them that as a man of science, he was baffled to explain how ghosts that should not exist and could not be proven under scientific conditions, that they did exist in the home. He heard footsteps every night, noises, and eventually gave up on investigating the noises after an effort to find someone else living in the house became futile. So let's see. So the person that wrote this visited the house, and they visited the mansion not by choice. They were vacationing in Cape May in the 90s, and them and their friend Kathy joined for the week. While they were more interested in the surfing and the sun, their friend Kathy wanted more historical venues, and especially this estate. So, let's see. They walked through the house, and while the friends were taking in the sights of the historical background and the property, they were taking in the energies of the ghosts as well. As a medium, I will sense the fields of energy, and some of the fields have been personalities. Ghosts are nothing more than fields of energy with a consciousness. The body dies, and the personality survives beyond the grave. I sense 2 personalities, both women. See, I didn't think it was going to be women.
Yeah.
One was kind and gentle, and the other was absolutely miserable. With ghosts, if you were a nice person, you make a nice ghost. Likewise, if you're a nasty person, you become a nasty ghost. So you should decide how to cross over to heaven and stay earthbound. With any hauntings, there's combinations of histories and mysteries, but as a paranormal investigator who loves history, I try to compare my findings as a psychic medium with the historical background from the site of the haunting. From what she was told about Aunt Emily, she was a party girl and a very sociable. On the other hand, Frances Ralston ran the house with an iron fist, so she's probably the one that wasn't that nice.
Yeah. The mom.
Yeah. Entering Aunt Emily's old bedroom on the second floor is like visiting an old friend. Psychic or not, people have told me that they have a feeling in that particular room. Some even feel a little buzz when they leave. Entering the room of Dr. Physic's mother is another story. They feel claustrophobic, depressed, queasy, and they assessed the feelings and made a few mental notes and left thinking that they had ghosts. Let's see. There's ghost dogs now, too.
Ooh.
Ghost cats are common, but ghost dogs are not. Dogs are people-centered, and if they haunt, they are usually haunting with their former master. Cats are place-centered and usually could care less if their owner's dead.
Oh my gosh, that's so true, though.
The Physic estate was home to many dogs in its day, but Dr. Physic's dog had a run behind in the carriage house and kept many dogs as companions. From visiting the house over and over again for many years, I think this is what happened. Isabel was ill and unhappy and kept away from the public in the upper reaches of the house. She died first, and instead of crossing over, decided to live with her family and continue as a spirit in the house. Frances died next and most likely crossed over. Her business finished with her life on Earth. Dr. Physic died next, and he may or may not have left. We are not sure if his ghost still roams around in the hallways. Aunt Emily was the last survivor, having no children or family left. She befriended her longtime neighbor, Frances Brooks, and left her the estate and belongings. Emily, as she began moved towards the light, turned and saw Isabel still in the house and tried to get her to come. The two decided to stay a while to watch what would happen with the house. After newcomers left, the house fell into terrible despair. Ghosts eventually move on. Sheer boredom and human nature make a soul want to explore new horizons. If a ghost haunts a former dwelling at some point, tenants will arrive and possibly push the old tenants out into the street or perhaps heaven. In this case, the physicists state the ghosts have no competition. They have the house all to themselves. So you can go and take tours of this house. Let's see. I'll show you guys the house just so that you can see. There is tours. So when we were talking about this, me and Heather earlier, we said, why is the lady that's doing the tours such an older lady? Kind of adds a little bit to the creepiness of it.
Yeah.
But it honestly, it's a beautiful house, really well kept. They have a lot of little Christmas villages.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's adorable. And I mean, you would have no idea that it was haunted from looking on the outside. Everything is still kept the same that it was. I don't know whose bedroom this is. I'm going to say probably the doctor's bedroom, just based off the clothing on the bed. But I don't know. But it's super cute.
Also, it looks like they fixed it up really well.
Yeah, I think this is the carriage in the back where the dog was. But it's beautiful. It's kept really nicely. But it's nice that you can go and visit it and do tours and hear all the history about it, because there really is so much more history that I can go deeper into. But just as a small introduction to this video and to this podcast, I just wanted to kind of tie everything in together. Since we did really state last time, we can talk about the most haunted house in New Jersey this time to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's all for the Emlyn Physic Estate.
Do you have any, like, haunted experiences yourself? Like, scary ghost experiences? Because I can think of one right now that involves ghost cats.
I have two that I can think off the top of my head. But once we get further into the video, I'm sure I could think of more. But what's yours?
Mm-hmm. So the one that I'm thinking of, the ghost dogs remind me of the ghost cats. And it's funny that they said, like, ghost cats are more common because, like, they don't really care if their owner's dead.
No.
So funny. So behind the house that my dad lives in, there was a smaller house. And my dad ended up purchasing that house from the owner to rent out. And the guy who used to live there, like, swore up and down that ghost cats haunted the place.
Probably.
Like, he said that they would turn the lights on and off, and he would see them running, like, down, like, by his feet. And it's really weird that he said that, because after, like, a few tenants and everything, the house was added on to. It used to be really small, like, just almost like just a one bedroom and, like, this really small entrance. But then they added on, like, to the whole back of the house. And it was still really small. It was only, like, a one bedroom. And then they used, like, there was a living room inside that they used as another bedroom. Mm-hmm. And we had a tenant in there. And this is when I was, like, still living in my dad's house. He said he was sleeping on the couch. And he felt something, like, come over his face and literally just sit there. And he said he kept his eyes closed. And he waited for it to leave. And after it left, he got up and looked around, and no one was home.
That's terrifying.
Isn't it? And, wait, this is the best part. Not the best part, because it's actually kind of sad. But the lady who was renting the house died in the house while we were renting it to her. And my dad found her. Yeah. Terrifying.
So she is living her life with all those dead cats.
Yeah. Yeah, her and the dead cats.
What if the cats killed her?
Oh my god.
I know that sounds terrible, but, like, they were probably, like,
Oh my god.
Oh. That really scared me. Thank you. Thanks. He brought me an iced coffee.
Aww. That's so nice after probably scaring the crap out of you.
Mm-hmm. I was like, what is that? Is that a cat? No, but, like, seriously, they were probably like, oh my god, like she's gonna be such a good person to keep after us when we're dead. Let's kill her.
Let's kill. Oh my gosh! And the basement in there was so creepy. It was like one of those short ceiling basements that you had like
Ooh.
duck into.
That's
Yeah.
always in the scary movies.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Literally.
Not my cup of tea.
So we sold the house, and I don't know. I know who lives in it now, but I don't know if they have any like haunted
Stories?
like
Probably
paranormal
not.
stuff. Yeah.
Because the old lady's taking care of them.
Yeah. Like we don't need to bother you anymore. We got
No.
our lady. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. But no, my ghost stories, let me see. The one was at Whitesbog in over by where they do like where Ocean Spray Cranberry is.
Oh,
in
yes,
Pemberton
yes, yes.
area.
Yeah.
So they have in Whitesbog they have this old because it's an old town, but they have this old building that was burnt down that's now gated off.
Oh.
Me and my friends wound up making our way through the gate, and we were taking photos for photography class, and as I was taking this one photo, he fell through the floor. And I was like, oh my god, are you... Literally, he was standing still. He just fell right through the floor. I was like, oh my god, are you okay? And I look at the picture that I took of him, and you see a giant white orb right next to him as he's going down. So that was pretty weird.
God.
And then
Someone
at my
pushed him
cousin...
down.
Yeah, at my cousin's tattoo shop, that place was haunted. 110%. But that's...
What happened?
So she would be working by herself, and the one time I was there, and I heard voices, and I was like, who's here? Nobody was there. The door didn't open. Nobody was working. Creepiest story. Then she was there by herself the one day with a client, and all of the photos of like the gallery on the tattoo wall fell off of the wall. They would play with like the stereo and the music. She would talk to them. They would like not respond literally, but like show signs that they were communicating. I had to go in there with her and help her smudge the whole studio out, and it didn't work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Does she still own the tattoo parlor?
No,
Like, she
not
still have it?
anymore. Now it's a yoga place.
Oh my gosh, haunted yoga.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Yeah. So there's that. But I'm sure I can think of more stories.
I wouldn't know what to do if like everything like if I was sitting in my living room and all my pictures fell off the wall, I would just leave. I would just leave.
It's either I would leave or I would sit there and look at it and be like, I'm gonna go to bed now.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay, have fun out here. I'm gonna leave this room.
Yep. That's
crazy.
But you want to get on with yours?
Oh, back to like to the cryptids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. Okay. Sorry, I was so engrossed in this. I was like, oh my goodness.
No, it's good.
I love ghost stories. Let me share my screen. Let's share this window. All right, so I'm going to be reading about the Wendigo. I hope I'm saying that right. I feel like I'm not. So, where was my thing? I don't know. So this is like, before I read this story, the Wendigo, there is like two versions of the Wendigo that people usually report. It could look like the one from Supernatural and the game Until Dawn, which is like this hairless, skinny, pale gray figure. And by skinny, I mean like emaciated. Like, that's Bones. So this is from yeah, like a ghoulish figure. This is the one that's actually described in Native American folklore. And then the other one looks more like this, like a deer that is also emaciated. So the story behind like the Wendigo's like origin is that it's a Native American, like one of their hunters who's gone out and gotten lost in the woods, like say with their I guess, like, say with their hunting party, they get lost and they resort to cannibalism, that their spirit will turn into, like, a bad spirit and then turn into this, like, haunting figure that basically goes around eating people. Yeah. So that is what a Wendigo is. So this is our Wendigo story that I grabbed off of Reddit by... I'm not sure what that says. It says, I'm pretty sure that's Bacon. Bacon
Beat down.
Bacon Beatdown. Thank you, because I cannot read that. Sure, Bacon Beatdown. So Bacon Beatdown on Reddit writes this. Okay.
No.
Gotta get my
Love Reddit.
reading voice ready.
We both are
I do.
obsessed
Oh my
with
goodness.
Reddit. Oh my god.
I do. Okay. Quick sidebar. I love Am I the Asshole?
On Reddit?
Yeah.
Oh, when they tell their
Like,
stories and they're like, but am
yes.
I or is it her? Or
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I will doom scroll because I repost them to Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I will doom scroll for hours for like listening to those stories.
Rob watches them on TikTok too. I read them more so. Like, I'll get a notification on my Reddit and I'll be like,
Okay.
ooh, that looks good. And then I'll click it and then
Yeah.
I'm just reading it like in between clients at work. Meanwhile, right before bed, me and Rob are watching them like it's a YouTube video.
Oh my god, they're so good. And Chris hates them because Chris is always like, "There's never a part 2." I'm like, "You don't look. That's why."
No, you have to
You
go
have to
into
look.
the profiles and dive deep and find the part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I made him listen to a bunch of them this morning. I said, "You're gonna watch these with me." All right,
As you
let's get to the story. Okay, I've been debating on sharing this story with anyone outside of my small circle of people that were there, but I want to share my experience in hopes that it saves someone's life or to give understanding of what someone else has experienced. Late fall 2010, in northern Canada, I went deep into the wilderness with my father and my eldest brother to hunt for moose. We left in the early morning, just before sunrise, trying to cover as much distance as possible before nightfall. We traveled winding rivers and had to repeatedly portage over rapids all day. We decided to set up camp just over halfway to our destination. My father figured that we'd make the rest of the journey tomorrow. Well, when everybody bedded down for the night, I decided to go grab some firewood and relieve myself down by the bank of the river, just out of reach of the light from the campfire. Out of the tree line about 15 yards away, I could hear rustling in the bushes. I watched the area where I heard the noise and focused on that spot. I felt kind of funny, dizzy, and lightheaded, and I could smell this putrid stink like old milk or rotten food. Then I saw a tree start to morph and move over ever so slightly and began to take the shape of a head and slight facial features.
So
My eyes began...
Sorry. Are we saying
No,
that
you're okay.
he smells like putrid eggs and old food?
No, he smells putrid egg.
Yeah, but is it
Like he...
the creature that smells
Yeah,
that way?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would hope he's not outing himself and be like, I smell so bad. Like, you guys wouldn't believe what I smell like.
Oh my
I
god, that
hope-
would be pretty funny if he's just straight up telling us that he smells like putrid eggs.
Yeah, he's like, guys, you do not want to
Buddy
smell
needs
me.
a shower.
Yeah. Go hop in that river.
Yeah. That you're
Or
so-
don't, because you just relieved yourself next to it. All right. Okay. So my eyes began to adjust to the darkness, and along the tree line, I could hear this voice coming from there. I recognized it. The voice sounded like one of my relatives who had recently passed. The face took shape of my relative. "Hello," they said. "I've missed you. Come see me."
Oh,
I
no.
sla- yeah, right? No.
Nope. That's when I run. If I know you died, I went to your funeral. Nope. I'm running.
Yeah, I'm not. No, well, listen to this. I smiled and stepped forward a bit, but stopped to analyze the situation.
Yeah, no duh, stupid.
Dude, they recently. I mean, okay, we gotta keep reading because I feel like, Okay, my relative's face stopped smiling and became emotionless. The skin began to turn pale and peel away. Ew. Chunks of flesh from their cheeks began to fall away, and I felt shock and fear overwhelm my body. I couldn't make sense of it at all, so I started to back away and make my way to camp. I didn't realize it at the time, but I had been walking towards the voice, and I was further away from the light. The voice became angry and began shouting at me to come here. So I turned to run, but as I looked back one more time, I saw the most disgusting thing I had ever seen. It was rotting flesh on gnawed bone, caved-in eyes, and a hollow chest cavity. This humanoid creature was tall and super thin. Okay. I ran fast as I could, trying to yell for help, but the fear had made my voice quiet and raspy. I ran along the riverbank, and I could hear the heavy breaths and stomping feet from this thing right behind me. I made it onto the top of the riverbank, but it grabbed a hold of my leg as I jumped. I gripped and tore the grass, trying to lift myself, and yelled as loud as I could. Then finally my voice came back, and I yelled that someone has my leg. My brother woke up and ran over to where I was, then pulled me up and took me over to the fire. I was terrified, trying to explain what I saw, and that it looked like my relative, but not. I was trying to convince them that I wasn't seeing things, but my brother nodded his head and said I saw it too. I know. That solidified it. He acknowledged that it was real. We stayed up all night after that, rifles loaded and close by. We packed up when the sun was coming up and went back home. We haven't shared that story with anyone out of fear of being labeled as crazy or liars. I've had nightmares and couldn't sleep for months afterwards. I would see things and dark figures looking into my windows or hear whispers when I was walking home at night. Eventually, I was seeing this dark figure daily. I went to medicine man/shaman for help, but I've learned that the ceremonies only relieves it temporarily. Friends have given me everything from protection pouches to certain crystals. I found out there's a strong possibility that I encountered a Wendigo. I learned that if you encounter one and survive, it attaches itself to you like a parasite. I learned that it could only do this if it touches you, which it did. Ever since that night, I've been on edge when I enter any forest or wooded area, which sucks because I love being outdoors, hunting, in nature, and now always feel like I need to keep my back against something when I'm out in the wild. Anyway, make your own conclusions about this. I paid a price for being an ignorant child to the stories of old. They are real. I can attest to that. Yeah. So that's creepy.
Oh my god.
What are we thinking?
I don't know what I'm thinking.
See, this one kind of scares me because I feel like the one thing that always gets me about like cryptids and stuff, and then my mom argues this because she doesn't really believe, but the one thing that always gets me with this is like where would like their bones go if they like died? But also if this thing looks like, I don't know, kind of humanoid, I feel like its bones are just gonna look like human bones.
Absolutely. I think they might just be, if anything, bigger.
Yeah.
Or if they do a DNA test, most of the time it might come back as like a wolf or like an ape or something like that. Like it's not going to be pulled up as some type of cryptid monster.
Yeah. And like, who is going out into the woods looking for these bones and like, I'm gonna go analyze this?
People that shouldn't be living in society. Like Jeffrey Dahmer people would be going into the woods and looking for that.
Looking for bones specifically.
It scares me because on my bucket list is to go like camping in the woods or backpacking through Europe and doing these types of things where most of the time whenever you hear like a cryptid story, they are always doing some type of hiking or like some type of outdoor activity. Like how often do we go kayaking?
Yeah.
Like we could totally experience something like this.
That's so true.
It's just like,
yeah,
it's creepy. And I want to know like an update about him.
Yeah, like are you alive? Like
is he still having these feelings? Does he still see him? Like,
yeah. But wait, when we were reading this, I don't think, like, I think it just makes it sound like just him and the brother saw it.
yeah.
So I don't know, like, what did the dad think? Because was the dad just like, my kids are freaked out, time to go home?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's things that I want to interview him, interrogate him, put a bright light on his face and say, where were you this night?
Where were you the night that you got attacked by your relative that wasn't your relative, whose face was peeling off?
Like, I want a picture. I want to bring in a sketch artist.
I know. That's like the other thing that always gets me is like, where are all these photos?
Yeah. And not, but like, I am a big girl about crystals and protections. I mean, you can see a little bit, like, this is where I keep my tarot cards and my sage, and then all my crystals that are on the wall and above me and whatever. But if it's a cryptid creature, there's only so much that protection pouches and crystals can do for you. They're more so going to just put like a cast over you that's not going to protect you from never seeing it again. And if it's that strong of a cryptid creature that everyone seems to make it out to be, I personally feel like none of that stuff is going to help. You're just screwed. You are. And that's why a lot of people say not to mess with magic and black magic and get involved with all these paranormal things, because once you're involved, there's no getting out.
No.
Nope. Mm-mm.
See, I'm like the dumbass that every night, like okay, so when I used to drive to Chris's college to go visit him, and I would come back late at night, I would all the time be like, let me see something, let me see something, let me see something. I know if I saw something, I'd probably die right there on the spot, but I wanted to see something jump out so bad. Yeah. I'm awful in that way. I just want to, like, I'm like, just give me, like, the Jersey Devil right now, or, like, a giant wolf. Like, I just want to see something.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, but I'd be terrified, though.
I don't know, man.
The one time, though, so, like, this is kind of on topic, kind of off.
Okay.
So they just opened up bear hunting in New Jersey again, because bears have been, like, getting really, like, rampant. But one time, me and my mom were driving home from my aunt's house, and we saw a, like, semi-truck pulled over, and in front of the semi-truck was this huge, like, mass of fur. And I always was like, okay, he probably hit a bear, but I was like, what if he hit, like, a werewolf or something?
It always is in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Like,
always.
What actually did, like, this thing was massive.
Like, you see a deer on the side of on the road, and it looks like it was demolished, not just hit by a car. You're like, what creature ate this?
Yeah.
What? It was not a hawk. It wasn't a crow. What creature ate this?
This thing is, like, in pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty. So, did we want to go into the Skinwalker?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say it with you. So, Skinwalker, because apparently you're not supposed to, but I'll say it with you.
Let's do it.
Oh, let me stop streaming. There we go.
Okay, so here we are again with the Reddit stories. Yes. This Reddit story is by Gendo Boy. It's 5 years ago, but that doesn't matter. So, do you have any Skinwalker stories?
No.
Okay, I don't
Thank God.
I know, same. I'm actually very happy about it, because I think that if I did, I would simply cry. I'd crawl in a hole and cry. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into it. Everyone have their drinks, their blankets. Okay.
We're set.
So, growing up, I lived in northeastern Arizona, literally about 5 miles south of Navajo Reservation in Winslow. Naturally, being that close to the reservation, or the res, skinwalkers are a huge topic of conversation amongst the locals, and we all take it very seriously. Stories of personal experiences abounded. It was no different. Wow, they missed a period. I was no different, period. Well, to start off my stories, I was about 9 or so. My family had gone camping again in a little spot about 50 miles or so south of town called Hart Canyon near Wiggins Crossing. We had been there all day and I was extremely familiar with the area as we have camped there 20 or so times before. My parents let me just wander about alone in the woods. This was back in the 90s. Anyway, I had some G.I. Joe stuff that I've been playing with in the nearby creek about 80 yards from our campsite. There were no other campers there with us. My mom called me back to the camp for dinner, so I left and ate. Played around to camp for a while and realized that I'd forgotten my toys back at the creek, so I took a flashlight, headed back that way, and I knew right where I had them, so in no time I found them and grabbed them. As I squatted down to grab them on the edge of the water, a sudden urgency that I'd never felt ran down my spine. I remember feeling frozen because of the fear, like the little boy in E.T. when the alien comes out of the field for the first time and he's trying to scream for his family. I looked up and pointed my flashlight to the other side of the creek, and about 10 yards down the way, I saw something. At first, I thought it was a deer, but it was standing up. So I thought maybe a bear, but it was too skinny and not poofy enough for the hair. It skunked behind a tree. What? It snuck behind a tree and peered out slightly at me. I seriously was too scared to move. I had just read a bit about Bigfoot for the first time since it wasn't really popular in my area. I thought for a long time that was what I saw. I finally had seen enough to gather my wits and scram as fast as I could back to camp. I told my parents, and they kind of dismissed it as an imagination, so I just stayed close the rest of the trip. Huh. How do we feel about that one?
About that, I would see why they think it's a Bigfoot.
I would too.
Although Bigfoot's kind of supposed to be hairy, so maybe not.
And it said that the hair wasn't poofy enough.
Yeah, for a bear, which I feel like a bear and Bigfoot could be easily mistaken for each other.
Exactly. Anyway.
But you're 9 years old, so I kind of get it.
Yeah. And it's dark out and you're with a flashlight.
Yeah.
So, about 2 years later, I was at my house. I had 2 dogs. They were outside dogs, lived their whole lives in my backyard. One night they went psycho, barking at first at something in the alley behind my house. Then they both started whimpering. I had my window open slightly, and one of the dogs straight up jumped up to the window, frantically chewed through the screen of the window, and forced its way into my house and would not leave the house for 3 days. What?
Oh my gosh.
I feel like dogs don't do that, especially if they've been living in the backyard. Unless it's seriously something. And can't they see spirits?
I think they can. I think cats and dogs have that natural
right?
ability. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's something.
Another time when I was about 13, we used to play night games in the town. Mostly there being nothing much else to do, we would walk around our neighborhood and act suspicious so the cops would come chase us around. And we'd run down the alleyways and hop into random folks' backyards to hide. Now it's extremely common to see an intoxicated Navajo or Hopi in the alley or the street. So it was no big deal to see one in the alley behind my house that night as we being my 2 friends and myself, ran from the police car, hop on our tail. We saw him plain as day, standing in our way. We ran around him and jumped into the nearest yard to hide. We waited for the cop to pass us and hopped back out. Literally about 3 minutes went by. We ran back the way we came, and as we got to the point where the Indian had been, he was gone. Legit in the place was a coyote sitting there watching us. We ran right past it, feet from it, and anyone knows coyotes knows they will bail out way before you get too close to them. The bugger held his ground and calmly sat and watched us run past him. We all freaked out and stayed inside for a month.
First of all, why are you making noise so the cops would chase you?
Who in the right mind thinks that that's a fun idea? Oh yeah, let's run around town and cause a ruckus to have the cops come chase us because it's fun.
I get, being silly kids and playing hide and seek, but hide and seek from the cops? That's, not a good idea.
No, and if you get caught, you're done for.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're just gonna, do a slap on the wrist for a 13-year-old, but still, I don't know. That's creepy, though, about the coyote.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's freaky. More so, I wouldn't say a skinwalker. I would say more so like a spirit. And that spirit probably lives in a coyote if it's an Indian.
What do you mean?
Because it says where the Indian had been.
Yeah.
And now it's a coyote. So I feel like maybe it was a spirit and they saw it as an actual person. And then once they passed the spirit, he went back into the coyote form. Does that make sense?
Caitlin, that is literally what I think a skinwalker is.
I don't think so, though.
Well, they're supposed to be able to change.
I didn't think that it was changing from that to an animal. Does that make sense? I thought it was more so like human form and then transferred into this like creepy looking form.
So you're saying there never was a guy. They just thought they saw a guy.
Yeah.
But it was a coyote.
I'm thinking that it was literally just a spirit and then eventually went into the coyote. Maybe it was the coyote was there, but they only saw the spirit, and then when they came back, the spirit was already back into the coyote. Because if it's an Indian, they saw an Indian, that makes sense. To me, at least. In my head, it doesn't make sense that that's a skinwalker.
I don't know.
I could see how it is a skinwalker, but in my head, it's not making sense as a skinwalker.
Wait, what would make it make sense to you for it to be a skinwalker? Like, what would it what would the story have had to have been for?
Not contain a coyote. I don't know why, but in my head, it's not making sense.
But that's what they do.
Hold on. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's like the whole thing of a skinwalker is it changes
into
shape.
An animal. And this whole time I didn't think that they changed into an animal. And I've done some creepy story, like I've read some creepy stories.
Does this change your whole perspective on the stories that you've read?
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, they're all saying that they would rather transform into a wolf creature, which the coyote makes sense. Oh my god! Okay, now I just feel like a complete idiot because I've read so many stories and I've listened to so many podcasts talking about skinwalkers, and never once were they mentioned an animal.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like a lot of the ones I've listened to have.
I feel like a complete idiot.
Wait. Who are you? Wait, this is good. Like, complete sidebar. Who is your go-to, like, scary story channel?
I can't remember the name of it. Hold on, let me text Rob.
Yeah.
They have...
Because if I just want to listen to, like... If I want to listen to scary stories at night, I listen to Swamp Dweller. Because his stories are scary, but they're more, I feel like, informational.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're on an informational side, the more scary to me. But if I want to be scared out of my mind, I listen to Darkness Prevails, who actually gives me the creeps, and I can't listen to it at night because I won't be able to sleep. Those are my two go-tos.
He's not understanding.
He's not.
No. He's like, no clue what you're talking about.
Do you guys listen to them together?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's finish this story. Maybe by the time he'll figure it out what you mean.
My last experience was when I was about 15 or 16. My brother has a girlfriend that lived in a small community south of Winslow called Starlight Pines, about 25 miles-ish. Well, we went to go see her one day, and as we drove out and about 15 miles out, we saw an Indian guy standing on the side of the road, which was quite odd because The res was north of town, and it was rare to see anyone on foot south of town because it's just desert and forest for literally 80 miles. Anyway, we see this guy. He looked normal enough, flannel shirt and jeans. We got to our destination and hung out with my brother's girlfriend and her family well into the night, and then decided to head back home. Hopped in his truck, a Chevy S10, and drove back the way we came. In the same spot we saw the Indian dude. He was still there. I remember thinking, that dude is crazy, standing out there all day and into the night. What's he doing? Right as we passed him, we hear a loud bang, and on the back of the truck, at first, I thought we hit an animal, but I hadn't felt anything that would run over. I turned around and looked out the back window. My brother started to slow down, thinking there may be something wrong with the truck and the brake lights. I see the Indian guy chasing after us. We are easily going 55 to 60 at this point, and we're about to stop. The guy is in the road, feet behind us. I screamed at my brother to not stop. Gun it, man, gun it. He does, and being a Chevy S10, it had a speed governor on it at about 80.2 miles, 2 miles. This guy keeps up with us. We are seriously freaking out. I asked my brother, what if we don't make it back to town, or what about when we have to slow down once we get close? After those 2 miles stretched forever, I looked back and he was gone. We got home, booked it into the house, and told our parents. Next morning, I get up to head somewhere and look at my brother's truck, thinking about the night before. I wondered what that loud bang was. Just before we started getting chased, inspecting the truck, I found a handprint smeared in the dust from about two or three over to the right, and then smeared to the right tail light. I never went there again. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with, it does sound like a skinwalker. This guy is, I think he's spot on with that assessment.
I'm still upset at myself, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Oh, it's okay. Do you want to hear something silly that I did?
Yes.
It'll make you feel better.
Yes.
I tried to make an infinite lava source in Minecraft, and instead of using so you're supposed to use dripstone underneath like a block with the lava into the cauldron to make the infinite lava. I used a hopper, and I kept it like that for half my video.
No.
Yeah, I thought it was a hopper, and then halfway through the video, I looked over it, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. I can't believe I just did this.
No. Oh, he texted me. Let's see.
So it's okay.
Oh, the Lore Lads. Or the Lore
Lads.
Lodge.
Or the Lore Lodge? I haven't heard of them. I'll have to
They are so good. So when we went to Cabo last summer, that's what we listened to the whole flight. And on the way
Oh, really?
home. And that was really the first time I heard about a skinwalker. And I got sucked into it. So I was like, we gotta read it. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. And
they're so good.
I've read and heard about probably like 6 to 10 stories. And they've never involved an animal. It's more so the people telling the stories said that they looked like this, and this mixed together. Never just like a straight up animal.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense. I don't know. To me, that was a dumb blonde statement. I'm not gonna lie. But I am newer to the skinwalkers, so please take my advice and run with it, I guess, if you want.
Yeah. Don't come for her. I'll come for you.
They will come for me.
Below.
I know. As soon as I post this, they're going to be like, she's so stupid. And I'm going to be like, yes, you're right.
Oh my gosh, no. No, we make mistakes. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the next one?
Is it Bigfoot?
I think so.
I think it's Bigfoot. Okay. Okay, so this is obviously like that famous picture of Bigfoot walking. This is the only, I couldn't find any really good Bigfoot encounter stories on Reddit. I don't know why. I don't think I was looking hard enough.
I feel like it's because it's such a big, like it's already been talked about so many times that a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, it's Bigfoot. Like they're not scared about it anymore.
No, there's like the whole show Finding Bigfoot and everything.
Yeah.
So this is what I found. It's Mike Woolley's Scary Experience. We're not going to watch the video, but we'll link the video for you in the description. Or whatever. I don't know what it is on Spotify.
There's a description. I can put the description. Yeah, I can put the link in the description.
Okay, that's awesome, because I have not. I have not looked at the Spotify, to be completely honest.
No, you're fine. I'll do the Spotify girl. You the YouTube queen.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so in case you haven't heard about this one before, he was deer hunting when a sweat-drenched doe ran up and collapsed at the base of his stand. He heard something and decided it was something messing with his hunting spot, so he yelled at them. It turned out to be two Sasquatch people. He only saw one at first, hunting, and they got extremely angry. Probably for messing with their food. Mm-hmm. He ran for his truck and finally drove them back by shooting at a tree near the one he saw, but Woolley said he couldn't bring himself to kill him because the Sasquatch looked too human. Anyway, his take is that they're very dangerous, which can doubtless be true, but the doe is covered in sweat, which means they've been chasing her for a while. It was hunting season, so deer were probably skittish, and maybe this was the first one they had a chance for a while. So they're trying to catch something to keep their family alive, and some stranger chases them off. Maybe it wasn't the first issue they'd had with hunters, so they were probably extremely angry and had just plain had it. Not that they should have been ready to kill him, but it seems a less belligerent reaction on Woolley's part to have resulted in a different kind of experience. So yeah.
So
I don't know.
Do you think that was Bigfoot, or do we think that it was just people dressed up in those green, hairy looking costumes trying to hunt for things?
See, this is always the thing, like, with Bigfoot. I feel like it's a very accessible and easy to, like, replicate costume. Mm-hmm. And every single time, first of all, there's no pictures. There's never any pictures. And, like, this one, I'm pretty sure, where is it? This one, I'm pretty sure was found out to be a hoax.
Yeah.
So then, like, this is a hoax, and then, like, there's the casting of the footprints, which you could fake. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Bigfoot.
I was just going to ask you, like, do you think that he is real, or do you think that he was made up? Do you think that he was real at some point in time? Like, give me your thoughts.
I feel like probably some point in time
that's where
Bigfoot.
I'm at. Yeah.
I think we're just so... I mean, like, listen, there's always, like... There's so much woods, especially out in the West, that you can never really know what's out there. I mean, they find, like, species that they thought were extinct. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. But at the same time, like... Between, like, Bigfoot, the Skinwalker, and the Wendigo, they're all, like, Native American folklore. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there is some truth to them. It's just how much of it actually happens today.
So, with Bigfoot, with me, I personally feel, and a lot of people get mad at me when I say this, I feel like Bigfoot has been around for a long, long time. But I feel like just recently, within the past, like, couple 50 years, it's gotten really, really big. And I used to have a friend, and he would go to all of the Bigfoot museums. He would try and catch Bigfoot himself. Like, he was a big Bigfoot fanatic. But yeah. I just feel like it was an ape, like a giant ape that lived really close to humans and started mimicking the way that they were going about living their life and wanted to interact with them and got too close, and one day just it didn't work out. And I think that's kind of where everything came from. That's how I view it.
I like that. I like that theory.
Right? Like, that's the only thing that's making sense in my head, because when I think of all of these cryptic stories and everything, I just told you guys, like, I'm totally all about, like, the paranormal and the crystals, and, like, I love that type of stuff, but at the same time, I need to have it make sense in my head in order for me to understand it.
Yeah.
So if I
Like-
can make a way for it to make sense, I'm going to.
Like, to me, with the previous ones, the Wendigo and the Skinwalker, I feel like those are evil spirits that,
Yeah.
like, have manifested themselves. So that makes sense to me.
Yes.
But you have, like, stories of Bigfoot being, like, a benevolent, or, like, I guess, kind. I forget if benevolent is good or bad. I think it's
to be
good.
honest, I have no idea what that word means.
I think it's good. I think.
Benevolent.
I don't know. I pulled out a college level word right there.
That's a Sunday word. That's what my parents call big words or Sunday words. Benevolent.
Sunday words? that's
Benevolent definition.
Is it good?
Well-meaning and kindly.
Oh, so I was right. Okay.
Yeah. Big heart.
Yeah. Bigfoot has a big heart because he has big feet, so he has a big heart. Unless Bigfoot.
You know what they say about big feet? They have a big heart.
Oh my goodness.
God.
That's why I'm a size 9.
I can't. Did you want to actually talk about your next one? Or did you want me to
Should I just do that one now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do
We'll
that.
end on the last one.
Yeah. Really quick about Bigfoot, though. What if it's just the same Bigfoot
And it just never died?
and it just never died?
Or there was two? Do you
There
watch...
was two.
Wait. On Instagram, the Bigfoot saxophone player.
No, what are you talking about?
Come on.
Okay, send me this. While I pull up this next one, send me this.
Okay.
That was quick. I hope you guys laugh at this, because this picture makes me laugh.
Shoot, where is it?
Oh, I'm listening to Reddit stories.
I gotta find it, but it's so funny. It's literally... it's called Sax Squatch.
Sasquatch? Oh
I'm
my
sending
gosh.
it to you.
Okay.
Because it's so good. If you guys have never heard of the Sasquatch, this is Sasquatch. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. Anyway, we'll link it in the bio. He is amazing. He dresses up as Bigfoot and goes everywhere and just plays the saxophone. He's amazing.
I'm sending this to Chris right now.
I wish that this would... Where is it? Oh, come on. Anyway.
This is the most insane thing I've ever seen.
We will tag him in the bottom. You can go and see him on tour.
This is Bigfoot with... what are those? Like the snow... Like the like... those sunglasses and...
Oh, shoot. What are those sunglasses called?
And like a baseball cap.
It is.
This is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
I think we should go and see him. I've been following him for at least 6 years. At least.
Well, let's go do it.
All right. The side rant's over.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What is that?
Okay, so this is the funniest picture I found of the Jersey Devil.
Oh my god.
It looks like someone has like a stuffed goat and they put like
wings on
just
it.
the cheapest wings you could find at Spirit Halloween and tied it to a tree.
We had Chris throw it up in the air when he was drunk at his birthday party.
Yeah. Yeah, he threw it up and we took a picture of it and that's the picture. No, the Jersey Devil actually... not encounter Reddit. I just want to look at images. The Jersey Devil is actually supposed to look like not that, but this thing. Mm-hmm. This is like what people actually say it looks like. I think like head of a goat or a horse, and then a weird little body and some bat wings. Mm-hmm. Here's an encounter for you. Now, I'll just read it and then I'll start ranting afterwards. For those of you who have not heard of the legend, I'll give a brief outline and description. The Jersey Devil is a legendary creature that only lives in New Jersey in the U.S. The Lenni Lenape, a local Native Americans, have a similar creature in their folklore, and they named it hunting grounds as I don't know.
Papuessing?
Papuessing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll call it that.
Sure. Which translates loosely to the place of the dragon. Swedish explorers also named region Drake Kill, where Drake is a term for a dragon and Kill is a term for a river or arm of the sea. The main story is that Mrs. Leeds was the mother of 12 children, and when she found out that she was pregnant with the 13th, she cried that this one should be a devil. She gave birth normally with her family and midwife nearby, but then it began to change. It changed from a normal baby to a creature with hooves and a goat's head, bat wings, and a forked tail. It growled and screamed, then killed the midwife and the family before flying up the chimney. Now, part of my story, it was only about 10 o'clock at night. I was slowly drifting off to sleep when I heard what sounded like horse hooves outside my window. I rationalized it to be the horse farm down the road, but then I realized the horse farm was 3 or 4 miles away, and I wouldn't be hearing hooves this clearly. I was instantly seized with fear, though I could not figure out why. I wanted to look out the window to look at the wooden deck just outside to see what it was, but I was nearly too scared to look. Eventually peeked out, saw a large creature standing on my deck. It had bat-like wings and a pronounced snout. 2 horns sprouted from its head, and it had 2 smaller claws on its upper body with horse-like lower legs. It looked at me for a moment before beating its wings and flying away. I didn't sleep at all that night.
That is probably the most not invasive story I've heard all night.
Yeah. See, I feel like there's several different versions of the Leeds story, because I've also heard the one where
I've heard different ones.
Where, like, the mom, the thing didn't kill anybody, it just flew out. It, like, didn't kill the family, they all lived.
So, I heard that it did kill the family. But the one that let me put this into perspective for anybody that's still listening. We live in the Pinelands.
Yeah.
So the Jersey Devil is originated from hometown, where we are.
This is home
where
for
we
us.
are now. So it hits home, and this is what we heard about growing up constantly. We always heard about the stories and whatever. I was in Girl Scouts. Were you a Girl Scout?
No, I was not.
I'm surprised by that.
Really?
I am. I was expecting you to be a Girl Scout.
No, my parents were like, no.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was a Girl Scout. So a lot of the things that we did when I was younger was Jersey Devil oriented, which was really weird. Yeah.
Girl Scouts?
Yeah.
Okay, see, that surprises me.
Yes. Yes. And I have a story that goes along with it if you want to hear it, but we don't have to.
Yes.
So, we were doing this, I don't even know what to call it. We were at this, like, farm, and they were telling us about the Jersey Devil. And I guess it's close to where, I think it might have been where he was born, like that house. Because they were telling so much history about the Jersey Devil. And I was like 11, okay? I was terrified, peeing my pants the whole time. So they sent us out. We had a scavenger hunt that we had to do to find the Jersey Devil. And that's how we got, like, one of our badges for the girls. Yeah, I know. 11 years old. So here I am, anxiety driven so high. My mom's with me. I'm like, I don't want to go and find this. I don't want to find it. I don't want to find it. What if it kills me? This, that, and the third. Because growing up in the Pinelands, you constantly are hearing about the Jersey Devil and what it does, where it's been, who it killed, like everything.
Yeah.
So, what?
Oh my gosh. Stop scaring Caitlin.
Yeah, he's flickering the lights. Anyway, so I finally finish the scavenger hunt and we get there and I'm terrified. Dude, I'm going to choke you. Sorry. We get there and come to find out that the Jersey Devil that they were talking about this whole entire time was a little beanie baby of a dragon. So I was terrified this whole entire time that we were actually going to find the real Jersey Devil, and we didn't. But when I tell you that night, I had the worst nightmare of my entire life, and it felt so real. It was insane. I was outside. I just got off the bus, and my grandma's like, come inside. And I go up the stairs, and all of a sudden she turns around and she's like, you're not Caitlin. And I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, why do you look like that? And when I tell you, I was the Jersey, like, I looked like that picture. Pull it up again.
This one?
Yes. In my dream. And no, I've never seen that picture before. Even though we were at that place for the Jersey Devil, I've never seen that picture before. So in my dream, I looked exactly like that. And my parents wouldn't let me in the house unless I fixed myself. And I woke up.
Oh my God.
That was it.
That's terrifying.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't either.
You
Not
were
a
the
lot of
Jersey
people-
Devil in your dream.
Not a lot of people know that. I don't even think Rob knows about that dream.
Oh my gosh.
And I was terrified of the New Jersey Devil for the longest time. Like, I wouldn't want to go outside in the backyard because I have woods in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I was terrified that I was going to get swept up and die.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Because my grandma
So-
also would tell me about, like, oh, the house by where I grew up, that's the house the Jersey Devil lived in, and it burnt down, and this one and that one. But it's not. That wasn't true. My grandma would just say that just to say it. But based off what the house looks like and where it is, makes sense.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have two things related to the Jersey Devil. One of them's lighthearted. They're not my stories. So one of them is actually an ex's relative story. Because
Okay.
we, like, me and this, like, one of my ex's one relative and I got along really well. So we'd, like, you know, talk a lot. And he was telling me about one time him and his friends drove out to the Jersey Devil house. And they picked up they were like looking around and they picked up a brick from the Jersey Devil house and they put it in their friend's Jeep. Well, when they were getting ready to leave, the Jeep would not start. Like, it wouldn't start. It wouldn't go. And they started to get really freaked out. So they were like, throw the brick back. And then he said they threw the brick back. And as soon as they got rid of the brick, the car started up.
Yeah, no.
That's so freaky
What
to
in
me.
your right mind would make you think that you should pick up a brick from
Yeah.
where this whole story started?
Yeah, like the biggest story of New Jersey.
A brick from the house. What makes
Yeah.
like no?
I don't know.
I would
So
never.
that's my one story. And the other one is, you know, I could promote them because they were on TV. But you know Lucille's Country Cooking?
Mm-hmm.
So I know them.
Okay.
I don't want to dox myself too hard, but I know them. And their whole theme is their whole theme is I ate with the Jersey Devil.
Stop it.
Yeah. And they have like a Jersey Devil statue outside.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. Not gonna lie.
It is pretty cool.
I like
My
that.
Nana used to live out there, where that is, so that also scared me.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I'd sleep over her house, like, she had this big backyard, and I would look out across the backyard, and, like, there was the, like, tree line, and I swear, like, that tree line creeped me out so bad. It didn't help that, like, a lot of people hunted out there, and she'd be like, if you go out there, you're gonna get shot, so I was already on edge.
Oh my god, why didn't we go? Apparently
where?
the house is part of New Jersey's haunted houses.
Why don't we go?
Yeah, we should have went.
Wait, oh, was it like a tour thing?
Wait. This is, yeah, but it's also giving you, hold on, let me share my screen real fast.
Yeah, let me stop sharing mine.
So, this is telling you about them. Oop.
Yeah.
Hello, this is not where I wanted to go. Anyway, so here's the house, and I'm definitely 110% sure this is where I was because I remember this house very vividly.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it says, when Mrs. Leeds went into labor on a stormy night with her 13th child, local midwives came to help her through the birthing process. She ended up giving birth to a healthy baby boy, but soon after he didn't turn out as normal. As they believe, within minutes the baby boy began to transform. Horns sprouted from his head, his body began to grow, talons sprouted from his hands, leathery wings from his back, and feathers popped out across the baby's body. The creature's eyes glowed red, and before long it turned on its own mother, killing Miss Lead and clawing at the terrified crowd about it. Many were either killed or maimed in the accident, including much of the Leeds family. The devil flew out of the chimney, tearing it off in the process, and was soon out of sight. Wow. In the 1700s, many people believed a child with a birth defect signaled that the child was cursed by God. In an event, a video documentary produced by Weird NJ has noted that since the time of the Jersey Devil's birth, there have been thousands, if not more, sightings of the Jersey Devil in Leeds Point, and the surrounding areas include eerie noises within the woodlands. Most famously, the creature is said to have been unusually active between January 16th and 23rd, 1909. Locals began noticing strange footprints throughout the Delaware Valley that week, making tracks over and under fences, across rooftops, through wide fields. Panic sets in. Bloodhounds refuse to follow these tracks. Workers and children who had to travel through the woods refused to go to their jobs and schools. Witnesses claimed to see the beast in Camden and Bristol, Pennsylvania. It attacked a social club late at one night in the trolley of Haddon Heights. Farmers reported that their livestock were being slaughtered, and one Camden woman said that the devil tried to eat their dog. Though there has not since been a week quite so active as this one. The tales of the Jersey Devil continues to terrify people.
See,
Wow.
I've also heard that the whole Jersey Devil thing was made up to scare people away because there was a bootlegging operation going on in the Pine Barrens.
I believe it.
I think so. I think they probably hyped it up around that time and like, there's a Jersey Devil out here. Don't come steal our alcohol.
Yeah.
You know?
I believe that there probably was a murder in that house, definitely, or a fire of some sort, but I don't personally believe that there is a full-on devil walking around. More so maybe that 13th child was born with like Down syndrome or a major birth defect that caused them to look a certain way.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know.
13 kids. That's insane.
There comes a point in time where you gotta close your legs.
Yeah. Can't be doing that.
No.
Who's feeding all those kids is what I want to know.
Especially back then in the 1700s.
Yeah. Well, they're probably all working on the farm together.
Yeah. You work for your dinner.
Still.
You want dinner? Go and pick it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yo, Jimmy, those carrots aren't going to pick themselves. You better get out there if you want dinner.
Oh my god. So, did we want to continue and do the next one, or did we want to save that one and tie it into the next video?
I don't know. What do you feel like doing?
I don't care.
What's the last one?
The Dover Demon.
I feel like we could tie that into the next one.
Right.
Because I have an idea, so we could do that.
So then we'll keep that for the next one.
Yeah.
I'll save
We'll
it.
do that. Because we're already like over an hour in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting on.
Mm-hmm. I felt it, and I felt the awkwardness coming, so I was like, I feel like a burp would definitely help that out.
Yeah.
There's your secondhand embarrassment, everyone.
It is that time where it is getting awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to go.
Unfortunately. But
yeah.
Make sure to check out Heather's YouTube channel, HL Hawk.
Yes.
She does some really cool gaming videos, so definitely check that one out.
Obviously, I'm a noob at Minecraft because I can't figure out how to make infinite lava swords.
It's okay. If you asked me to do that, I would say, let me look that up real fast.
Yeah. That was me the entire video, though, so there's a lot to cut out.
It's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Her hair cutting services. My tinsel is still going strong. Actually, This is really funny. I don't know if you've had any customers say this, but I was getting laundry out of the dryer and it was like static, and I kid you not, I felt the static in the beads.
No.
And it like shocked me, I swear to God.
No. Do you not use the little laundry towel things?
What
For the
I
dryer?
I do. Yes.
The dryer sheets, that's what they're called.
The dryer sheets, yeah. I knew exactly what you were saying. I do use them. It was so it was just staticky. And I took it out and I felt the zap in my head.
I've never noticed nor had anybody tell me that, because I had extensions in, and my extensions were put in with those beads.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
I've had them out for what, maybe like 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
But I've never noticed that. Now I'm gonna ask my clients now.
You should. We need to take a poll of who is getting electric currents to their head. Because I freaked out when it first happened. I'm like, am I gonna die? Like, is this killing me right now? But
Yeah.
it's fine.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Who's? Anyway, thanks for
Alrighty.
tuning in, my guys.
Yep.
Until
Because
next
it just
time.
got awkward. Till next time when it gets awkward again.
I like the awkwardness. It makes me
I
feel
do.
comfy. I'm not gonna
I do.
lie.
It feels right.